She brings home the bacon and fries it up in a pan. She's our Mamma Mia. Julie West, Parents for Truth president, joining us. You know I could go PETA on you. I love animals. So I didn't really appreciate all the pictures of you hunting this weekend.
I love animals, but Michael, I mean, we killed them, we ate them, they were delicious. That pheasant had more of a chance than the hamburger you ate this weekend, I promise you.
Well, I should probably eat more pheasant now that I have diverticulitis or whatever it is. Andrea's once again diagnosed me. One of these times I wish she'd be wrong. Otherwise, I'm just drop healthcare altogether and have her treat me. If she could just write prescriptions and do surgeries, I'd be in business. Andrea, I thought I pulled some muscles in my lower abdomen. Andrea's diagnosed me either with a inguinal hernia or diverticulitis. We'll find out today who was right. I have to go to the doctor again. But with the amount of red meat that I eat, Julie, it is possible that she has diagnosed me correct. So maybe some pheasant would be good for me. All right, we got a lot to cover today, not the least of which is I want to start in Colorado, and I want you to give them a background because there's nothing that strong schools translated to Williamson County strong. All of this is a leftist organized agenda, and they love to go into very conservative counties, deceive a bunch of kind of half paying attention, good, motived citizens into thinking we're just having community pride, when in fact it's a leftist organized effort to seize control of a county. And it all began in Colorado. And I want you to give them the background on what happened in Colorado because it's happening throughout Tennessee, not just in Rutherford County and Williamson County and Wilson County, but through all of Tennessee, because I want to get to a judge's ruling in Colorado that I think, if somebody would just file the suit, would hold up as well in Tennessee. So give me some background on how everything you need to know about strong schools you can learn from Colorado. Why would I ask such a question?
Well, because especially Douglas County very closely mirrors this area of the country. And you had a case there where over a period of a couple of elections, you had basically an entirely conservative school board elected. And ever since that time, there have been groups basically making it open season on these poor individuals as they have Susan Curley, for example. The difference there is you're dealing with a lot of people with military strategy backgrounds, so they see exactly what's happening. But you had different groups involved, different schools, Liberty Common School, for example, using their Facebook page to post all sorts of information.
By the way, time out. Does that sound familiar as somebody, well, I know I have been, I know you have been, I know others have been, targeted by Williamson Strong and Strong Schools on Facebook? Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Oh, yes. I mean, and the sad thing here is we just sort of accept it and go on. The beautiful thing about out there is it ended up in court. And a judge said, you know what? These constant Facebook posts that are so easily linked back to particular schools and individuals within the system, that they equal an illegal campaign contribution. You can't do this stuff. And, well, by the way, it's a lot like what the election registry here in Tennessee found about Williamson Strong. In fact, they said that one would have to suspend all reason not to believe that Mike Looney was colluding with them. So it's a very...
Well, that brings up a very important question, because if, in fact, that's the precedent as set by a judge in Colorado, it begs the question, with the exception of the thousands of likes from Istanbul, Turkey, knowing that Mike Looney, a school superintendent, who has certainly gotten away with everything and gotten big raises, but he was certainly one of the first to like it, first to post on it, and then other things on his own Facebook page. It begs the question, did Looney violate campaign finance laws by using his director of school Twitter account during elections, or being a part of that Facebook page or his own Facebook page? It's a reasonable question.
Absolutely. And I, of course, am not a lawyer, but it's certainly a question worth getting a good answer to, worth asking, worth taking a very close look at. And I'm certainly hoping that we can get more folks within the government to really start asking those questions. And by the way, there's a whole lot of concern about some of the activities that have taken place here at the Capitol. You got to be kidding me. You can't do that. So it's interesting now that we actually have not just a committee's opinion, but a judge's opinion, and not just some,
If it never goes to court, are you fine with, it's all been exposed. Do you think that people like Looney and Williamson Strong are going to do all the same shenanigans that got them in trouble next school board election in Williamson County or any county? And would you be happy if they just went away being exposed?
First
of all, I think they have the gall to do it all again because most people are so ignorant and won't keep their eye on them. But if that were the case.
Well, and I think they're just setting up other PACs under different names, Wilco, Rising PAC, and others. But no, I think at some point people really do need to be brought to justice. And it's extremely problematic because if we don't nip it in the bud, if we don't fully address it, it's going to continue to spread like the cancer that it is.
All right, let me go back to one of our top stories of the last umpteen months. And that is parents outraged over Islamic inaccurate teaching, indoctrination, and practicing of religion. And, of course, that comes in the form of curriculum, assignments, testing, not to mention ice cream socials where they're making prayer mats. But then the overall conversation about textbook inaccuracies, textbook monopolies, textbook conflict of interests in relationships. And then we get to the Williamson County School Board meeting, and about an hour and 27 minutes in, from one of the board members, we hear this defense of textbooks in Williamson County.
Back as far as I could, and it's interesting that the content of those standards has been remarkably stable over several decades.
Just to go on up and just put some of this in check for investigation and whatnot.
I was going to take a second to go on Dan's point. Whether it's a state issue or a national issue, it's a state or a national issue.
I think it jumped, didn't it?
County schools issue.
We're coming up to it.
Okay, we're early. That's what it is.
Field trips to mosques. We haven't had indoctrination. We haven't had any of that. The resolution last fall should be overarching, and should cover anything because we're in support of local control. It was unanimous. We said we want local control. Any issue, this or any other issue, that resolution should cover it. This is a political issue, and I'll go to a couple of points that Dr. Burgos mentioned. WCS parents, as an HR, as a human resources professional, there are 3 rules in human resources: document, document, document. And if you can't prove it, it didn't happen. And to say, I don't want to say this, or it was a call and it was an email. I've done this for 3 years, and I document everything. You have to. And we got an email. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet or not. I answer all the emails. You know that. We also had conversations with both the Let's Talk Schools events. The constituent who asked us to answer a question publicly is my constituent, so I'm going to answer those for her directly here. Said she wanted to know, number one, the exact number of Williamson County public school parents with children currently attending our public schools who feel their children or their child is being indoctrinated by attending social studies class. The answer is 0. And at least to me, and then all the emails that I've been copied on that are to the board, 0, not 1. Number 2, the exact number of Williamson County parents who do not have children currently in our school system but disagree with our social studies curriculum. We have Williamson County, by definition, or what she says in an email that came today, who disagrees. We got that 1 email today, so 1. And then the third one was the number of parents reporting that their child has changed religions as a result of attending 7th grade social. The answer is 0. The textbooks, when we say, we want to protect our teachers, and we under the guise of protecting teachers and trusting teachers, to say that we don't trust you to look at the textbooks and that we're going to look at the textbooks, that's horrible. That's just saying we're going to do your job for you, and we're not the subject matter experts in this. You said it yourself that you're not a subject matter expert in this, but you want to see the textbooks and you want to approve the textbooks. And when you went through the whole thing of the pages versus standards and the quantities of this and quantities of that, 100 pounds of bowling balls looks a lot different from 100 pounds of feathers. They both weigh 100 pounds, but there's a lot more of one than the other. And so when you look at quantity...
Tommy, hit pause, because I don't want to get too far into this. All right, Julie, first thing, because that's going to go on long.
It goes on and on and on.
Well, I know, but zero...
Gets angry.
Do you believe that there are 0 parents in Williamson County with children in schools, because we can take care of that today, that have expressed any concerns over the quantity and inaccuracy and quality of this type of education that's going on? Because I find that hard to believe that there is 0, and if there is, we should take care of that today. As far as quantity and quality, the analogy of feathers versus bowling balls, and then, of course, they create straw men in all of this. Nobody was making it about conversion rates. It's about an inaccurate portrayal of a religion, an incomplete portrayal of a religion, and about parents and who ultimately is in charge of these children. And I don't have to, by the way, be a subject expert in order to have a parental right that already exists and exercise it. But in 30 seconds or less, do you want to take a stab at what Mr. Hewlett's lame attempt was?
Well, he says it's not happening here. In fact, it started here with the human geography text. Fox News, it's happening here. Hundreds of parents who complained and changed school board members know it's happening here. Folks at the Capitol know it's happening here.
Should we rename the Harpeth River Denial?
Right. Ours was the county where you could buy Islamic clothing from the school district's website. And by the way, if it's not happening here, Mr. Hullett, please simply respond to the ACLJ open records request. And don't say it'll cost thousands of dollars, because you're just proving our point for us.
Yeah, and I can take care of that because I have children in Williamson County schools, and I can take care of that as a parent today if I would like to. People can follow these and other stories, and of course we'll meet later in the week if necessary, if conditions warrant. But if people want to follow these stories, tell them where they can find you on Facebook.
Okay, it is Facebook at Parents for Truth, on Twitter at Julie, 4 Truth, and by the way, the Williamson County School Board meeting should be worth showing up for tonight at 6 o'clock.
Tonight at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
All right, 9:54, Julie West, Parents for Truth. We'll talk to you next Monday or sooner if conditions warrant. Stand by for news.